Hello students, so the next topic that we are going to discuss is the solid crust, lithosphere. So as you know that lithos means what? Like lithosphere. Lithos means stones or rocks, sphere is again the zone or the region. So that means lithosphere is that part of the earth, that zone of the earth which is made up of stones and rocks. So it's known as solid crust, or it is known as lithosphere. Okay, so crust, it is called crust also because, as you know, that the earth, if we talk about the inside of the earth, the interior of the earth, that earth, there are three layers: core, mantle, crust. Core is the interior one, most interior one, then middle layer is mantle. These two layers are in molten and semi molten form. These two layers have very high temperature ranges, and everything here is in the molten or semi-molten form, and no form of life could exist in these two layers. Whatever form of life exists, it all exists in the lithosphere, in this outer layer, that is lithosphere, which is the solid layer. And how this lithosphere has been formed? It has been formed because of the weathering of rock. And what is weathering? Wear and tear away of rock is known as weathering. So rocks breaks up, you can say, then they are transported at one place or another, then cooling down of lava and all this has formed the lithosphere or the solid crust. So, and this solid crust, it supports plant life. It provides whatever are the nutrients required for the survival of the plant life, for the growth of plant. So all form of life, directly or indirectly, depends upon lithosphere. Not only plant life, but all form of life, human life, animal life, whatever be the life form of life is there on the earth, it all depends upon lithosphere. And this is the only layer of the earth which is in the solid form, and this is the only layer of the earth where the life exists. So next thing, again, now we'll study about biosphere in detail. So I told you earlier also about the biosphere. So biosphere is a narrow realm of contact and interaction between the atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere. So that narrow realm where these three layers, lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, you can say interact among each other, is known as biosphere. So that narrow zone of contact and interaction between atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere is known as biosphere. I told you earlier also, bio means life, sphere means zone. So this is the zone where the biosphere means a zone in which life exists. So whatever is the life is there on the earth, it all exists in biosphere. And this biosphere provides all the necessities for the species living on the earth, that is light, heat, water, food, habitats. Whatever is the requirement of different species, it all is provided by biosphere. So biosphere is known as the life zone. So whether it is vegetation or animal in the ground, or dead plants and animals, microscopic organisms, sea creatures, marine living organisms, birds in the air, all these exist only in biosphere, because it is that narrow realm of that can come in where the, you can say, atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere interact between each other. So all form of life exists only in biosphere. And this biosphere is a very thin layer of approx 15 kilometer. 15 kilometer from a deepest ocean trench to the highest mountain peak. It's thin layer of just 15 kilometer, and all life form exists only in this narrow layer, only in this thin layer. And life is chiefly found here in two forms: plant kingdom and animal kingdom. Okay, so life in biosphere exists mainly in two forms: the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. And we have to remember that this is just a thin layer of 15 kilometer, and this is a life giving zone. All form of life exists only in biosphere. Now there are different life giving cycles life-giving cycles. These cycles are responsible for the existence of life on the earth. One of them is the nutrition cycle. The nutrition cycle, it represents relationship between living and non-living things in environment. So nutrition cycle represents what? Relationship between living and non-living things in our environment. It shows what? It shows that all living things on the earth depends upon each other. It shows the interdependence of all the living things in the environment, that all living or non-living thing, whatever is present in whatever is present in our environment, they all depend upon each other. They cannot survive alone. They need to depend upon each other for one or any of their other necessities. Now, this nutrition cycle, it operates through what? It operates through the food chain, and it operates through other processes like photosynthesis, transpiration, respiration, and different processes, etc. The living things are divided into producers, consumers, and decomposers. And plants are the producers of food. How do they produce food? They produce food through a process of photosynthesis. All of you must be knowing that photosynthesis is a process through which the plants make their own food. And man, human being, is the main consumer. Plants are the main producers and human being is the main consumer. Now this is the nutrition cycle. Okay. Consumers are what? Consumers is the human being. Main consumer is the human being. It could consume, you can say, all the type of things. Man is a carnivore also. Man is omnivorous actually. Omnivores. It eats all type of food. So this is nutrition cycle, and as I told you, like all these depends upon each other. All these depends upon each other and they form a nutrition cycle. There are categories of consumer, herbivores and carnivores who live on the producer. At the top of all is the man, who can modify his own environment and create changes at the bottom or in the middle level of the food chain. Man is the one, human being is the one which can change, which can make different kind of changes, which can create changes at the bottom or in the middle level of the food chain. So nutrition cycle is the one, you just have to remember mainly this thing, that it is the cycle that represents a relationship between living and non-living thing in our environment. Now the next cycle that we are going to study is the carbon cycle and nitrogen cycle and oxygen cycle, that we'll see in the next videos.